Beautiful.
That would be funny.
Probably match up very well.
Yeah. So it's interesting that the room, I see a really nice split between people who come from gender advocacy background and people who come from the media or filmmaking background. And I think that the more I think about today, I think what really the focus for me is like how to marry the two, like Aida was saying. And I think a lot of your projects, or the three projects that I've heard today, are really interesting, and I think they have a lot of value and a lot of worth in their objectives and the how you planned for them to happen. You've thought about them a lot, obviously, but that issue with how to combine the production aspect, the filmmaking aspect with the themes, with the advocacy that you are engaged in. I think this is really the key, because I think that it's so easy to, yes, I mean, we all have messages that we want to communicate, but when the difficulty is always how to do it, and I think that the enemy for me is directness. Al-mubashara is to use media or to use art or to use film to pass forward messages in a way that is direct, because I think that's in a way the enemy of creativity, I think. And I think that you have to really focus on you have to also distinguish, like, what kind of media projects are you trying to engage in. Is it factual films and documentaries? Is it more creative projects, more artistic projects? And I think that, to me, that wasn't very clear today. A lot of these projects, except for maybe the third one, which is more clear, although I agree with some of the feedback that was given. I'm curious to know really, like, more about the output that you're trying to reach, and how do you plan to reach it, from a production point of view. How do you plan to make these projects, and what kind of projects are they going to be, and what is the process, and the profile of the people that you're going to target, etc. I myself have worked with advocacy groups before, not so much, but maybe one film that I did called Asma, which was with UNAIDS, about a woman with HIV who was trying to face society and demand her rights. And it's really tricky when you work with an advocacy, an organization, an NGO or an advocacy group, because they have messages and they don't know so much about the best way to put these messages forward. And sometimes it's a bit of a struggle, because you are trying to keep the artistic integrity of the film. You're trying to you're focusing on the characters, on your themes, etc. And from their point of view, they are always focusing on just presenting the message or the characters in a way that they feel really mirrors the reality of the situation for these target groups that they're advocating for. So it was an interesting process, because with UNAIDS we actually co-developed the film. So they hired Hamra Sanana to write the film, and then my role was always to try to make sure that artistically it's also not too direct in the way it delivers the message, and that was always a bit of a struggle, but we managed to find a way that works.